Hey everyone, and welcome back for another deep dive. You know how much we love getting into the nitty-gritty of really cool concepts, and today is no different.
Yeah, this one is really something else.
It's called Been There Reviews,
Yeah.
and it's basically taking something we all see every day, online reviews,
Right.
and turning them into wearable art.
I know, right? Like, imagine.
Like imagine that five-star review you left for that awesome little cafe you found.
Yeah,
Now imagine it's embroidered on a super cool jacket or a bag,
that's exactly what Been There Reviews is doing, turning reviews into fashion statements.
and at the heart of this whole thing is Roland Madison. He's the face of the brand, kind of their style ambassador.
Yeah, and the thing about Roland is he's not just about looking good.
Right. He's got this whole philosophy about stories being more than just words.
Exactly. He sees them as a way to make a real difference, to connect with people.
Okay, I'm already intrigued. So
Oh.
where does this deep connection to stories come from? What shaped his worldview like that?
Well, a lot of it goes back to his childhood. Think about it. Okay.
Growing up in a huge city, surrounded by tons of different people with all sorts of experiences.
Right. A melting pot of stories.
Exactly. And get this. His grandfather had this antique shop,
Oh, cool.
and Roland would spend hours there listening to people tell stories about the things they were buying and selling. Like, you wouldn't believe the things he heard.
Like what kind of stories?
Like this one time, this woman came in with a little teacup, right? Turns out it'd been in her family for generations, been through wars, you name it. The stories that little teacup could tell.
Wow. So it's not just about the object itself, but the history, the emotions tied to it.
Exactly. And Roland just soaked it all in. He realized that even the most ordinary things could hold incredible stories.
So how did he go from antique shop stories to this been there reviews concept? Was there like a light bulb moment?
Well, there was this one night he was having dinner with a friend,
Hmm.
and they were talking about how hard it is for small businesses to get noticed these days.
Yeah, especially with all the big online stores dominating everything. Right. So anyway, they're talking about this and they notice this woman at another table wearing this super stylish scarf
Okay.
and they get to talking to her and it turns out the pattern on the scarf is actually words from a review about a local bakery that was struggling to stay open.
Wait, seriously? That's amazing.
Yeah. And that's when it hit them.
The idea for Been There Review.
Bingo! They realized they could take those hidden gems, those amazing reviews, and give them a whole new platform, turn them into something people would actually see and talk about.
It's so clever. But let's be real for a sec. Some people might think it's just a marketing ploy, right? Like, just a way to sell more clothes.
Oh, for sure, some people might see it that way, but that's not what Roland is about at all. He really cares about finding those authentic stories, the ones that touch your heart or teach you something or just make you think. And that's what they try to do with Been There Reviews. It's about finding those special reviews and then working with designers to turn them into actual art pieces.
Okay, so it's not just about slapping a random review onto a t-shirt. There's actual thought and artistry going into it.
Absolutely. It's about creating something beautiful and meaningful, something that makes people stop and say, wow, what's the story behind that?
I'm really curious about the design process now. Like,
Mm.
how do they actually take a written review and transform it into a piece of clothing?
Well, it all starts with finding the right reviews, ones that really stand out.
Right. Like a review that perfectly captures the feeling of a place or an experience.
Exactly. Like maybe it's a review about this cozy little bookstore that describes it as a haven for book lovers.
Yeah, I love those kinds of places.
And then they take that review to their network of designers and they all sort of brainstorm how to bring it to life.
So each piece is a collaboration between the reviewer, the designer, and the story itself.
Exactly. And they have all these super talented designers, each with their own unique style. Some might use the actual words from the review, like embroidering them onto the fabric.
Oh, I can picture that.
Others might use colors or patterns to capture the mood of the review. Like if it's a review about a vibrant street market, they might use bold, clashing colors.
I love that. It's like translating emotions into fashion. Can you give me a specific example of a piece that really stood out to you?
Oh, there's this one jacket. It was inspired by a review of this tiny independent bookstore.
Oh, tell me more.
The reviewer was talking about how it felt like stepping into another world,
Right.
like a sanctuary for bookworms. And the designer took that idea and created a jacket with a lining that looks like rows and rows of books. It's so subtle, but so cool.
Wow, that's amazing. It's like wearing the feeling of the bookstore.
Right. And on the back of the jacket, there's this little embroidered quote from the review. Every book is a portal to another world.
I love that. It's so much more than just a jacket. It's a conversation starter, a piece of art with a story to tell, which is where Roland comes in, right?
Exactly. He's not just modeling the clothes, he's embodying the whole idea behind Been There reviews. He'll wear a piece and people will be like, whoa, what is that?
Yeah.
And he'll tell them the story behind it. He'll talk about the review, the inspiration, the whole thing. And it just connects with people. It shows them that fashion can be about more than just trends.
It can be about sharing experiences, about celebrating the things we love.
And it really highlights how important those everyday reviews are. They're not just words on a screen. They're little glimpses into people's lives, their passions, their discoveries.
It makes you wonder what other possibilities there are for wearable stories.
Right. Like, could we see Been There reviews expanding into other areas? What about accessories, home decor?
Or even architecture. Imagine a building designed based on reviews of the community it serves. The possibilities are endless. It's all about finding new and creative ways to share our experiences and connect with each other.
Well said.
Thanks for joining us on this deep dive into Been There reviews. It's been a fascinating journey. We encourage you to check out their stuff and maybe even think about how you might share your own stories in unique and unexpected ways. Who knows, maybe your review will end up inspiring the next fashion masterpiece.
Or a work of art.
Until next time,
See you later.
bye.